So here I am, I'm on the site of the Como Street car park and the future tower block. I'm here to answer a question. How tall is 12 stories? And what will the residents who live there be able to see? Como Street car park is located on the edge of the Lower Morneys area. It's an area that's mostly characterised by Victorian houses built of yellow brick with long gardens and off-street parking. A majority of the homes are family dwellings. From street level, they're 2 stories high. But what does the developer have planned for the area?
From north to south, the buildings rise from 4 to 6 stories at the end of North Street, and the taller buildings mark the new public route through the site, with a 12-storey building that steps down to 8 stories, with a 6-storey link and shoulder at the southern end of the site. Our main sort of point is we've tried to sort of make it very appropriate to the location on the immediate site. So where you're coming in from Como Street, where we're sort of knitting into the low scale 2 and 3-storey buildings, we've kept that height the same, and those terraced houses that come in from the north. And then as you wrap back round to North Street, that really only gently steps up in height to sort of finish the end of North Street. We then have a sort of situation where we've got very tall buildings and we're right up against a very busy roundabout where it wouldn't be very pleasant to have 2 and 3-storey residential houses or very low scale homes, and it just wouldn't be an appropriate place for them, which is partly why the reason for height is on that location, but also because it's acting as a sort of transition in scale from the very tall, the much taller town centre buildings from us to the sort of residential neighbourhood beyond.
So the site behind me is the one that the developers are using as their argument for why this site is suitable for a 12-storey block. As you can see, we've got up to 15 stories here. It's worth noting, however, that sits the other side of Romford Ring Road. And that's important because it's a different area in town. It has a different character. Inside the Ring Road is characterised with taller buildings. But if you stick a 12-storey block here, you're going to create a corridor of tall buildings that wraps around our town, creating a barrier between Lower Morneys and the town centre. How tall is 12 stories? And what will the residents who live there be able to see? At 2 stories, you get the same view as from anywhere else, some trees and other people's rooftops. As we approach 5, you can begin to see into the gardens of homes on Linden Street and right over the top of them. You start approaching 7 and 8 stories, those on the other side of Linden Street are visible, and so are those on Olive Street. And as we approach 12 stories, it's clear that people living in this block will have a view over a majority of the Lower Morneys area. This development means a complete lack of privacy for hundreds of families previously able to enjoy their gardens all year round. The tower block will be visible for miles to come. It's clear to me that this site quite obviously is not suitable for a 12-storey tower block. We need new homes in Romford. I believe that. We've got over 300 families living in hotels and B&Bs and another 300 more individuals. There are families here whose children can't afford to live in Romford. But if we're going to build, we need to build something suitable, something that blends into the area, and something that we actually need. I see no reason why the Como Street development needs a 12-storey tower block. I don't understand why we need retail on the bottom of it. This is why myself, our Member of Parliament Andrew Rossendale, Councillor Nisha Patel and Keith Prince, our London Assembly member, are holding a campaign meeting with residents this weekend. We'll be at the Morney Arms from 6:30 p.m. on Friday. Please join us if you also think this tower block is not suitable. The character of Lower Morneys and Romford as a whole is under threat with overdevelopment. I'm calling on the council to finish what they've started before beginning more. Join me and my colleagues as we fight to preserve Romford's character and stop the Como Street tower block.